dad being a narcissist in prison. Did I say that he was there? Abusive to my mum. Friend actually saw messages coming through on his phone and it was cheating messages. A lot of damn effort, and I don't get a lot of effort received back. Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching this video, and today it's episode 2 of Boujee Brunchin with Brooke. So today I'm actually sitting in my room because I'm actually not having brunch this morning because Dan brought me breakfast at around 8 o'clock and I was not filming at 8 o'clock. I was not mentally, physically or anything prepared. So today I'm here to just sit and just chat, and today's topic is going to be all about families. And before we get started, I just thought we'd say hi and look what I've got. So if you haven't followed my Instagram, you won't know that I actually ordered a few little mugs. I ordered this one. It basically says on it, Sundays are for brunch. It's got a little heart around it. I love this so much. And then in the back of it, it says, let's sip some tea. Oh my god, I love it. I'll do some inserts and pictures as well. So yeah, I was thinking about bringing it out, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not really sure if people will buy it, to be fair, but I love it. It's my new mug. It's my new Boujee Brunchin mug. And then I've got some orange juice that Dan brought me, so thank you, Dan. So how are we all feeling on this Sunday morning? I hope you're all staying safe. I am excited to see what Boris says this evening. I do not think he will release us all into the wild just yet because I don't think the UK is completely ready, but we will see. I also have got to show you a few purchases that I've made this week because we're going to get on to the actual chatting, but I need to show you my new babies. Are you ready? Look at my new babies. These are my new Balenciagas. I have wanted these for so long and I'm so excited to show you them. So yeah, I bought these and I love them. Oh my god, they're so sexy. They're so nice. They're not everyone's cup of tea, but they're my cup of tea and I love them. So yeah, thought I'd show you them just to say hi and show you a little purchase. I think every week if I buy anything, I'm going to show you a little purchase that I've got. But today we're here to talk a little bit about families. So I thought, you know what, this topic is quite important because I don't see anything on YouTube about families and actual general chit chats about it, because so many of you guys have asked me, had a few dilemmas, had a few confusion questions, and I think this is a great time to talk about it. So I'm going to give you my own opinions, my best advice, but obviously do know that everyone's families are different. And we've kind of just got to work together and love each other and respect each other. And yeah, so my questions are on my laptop. I can film on my phone because I love filming on my phone. It's my favourite thing. I think phones are better than cameras sometimes. So yeah, let's just jump in straight to the content. If you didn't know, I live with my mum. I am a single family household, but I do see my dad. I've got a little sister and brother and a stepmom, Helen. My mum has got a partner, but I'm going to be doing a separate video on that because currently he's not with us. He is not with us basically at the minute, but I'm going to do a separate video on that because it's quite a harder subject and I can't really condense it into one video, especially in this one. So yeah, I've got quite a big family, and obviously I have got a brand new family. Dan's family is my family. I feel we are all so close, so I've got that as well, and then I've got my stepmom Helen's family, then obviously my gran and granddad and everything as well. So yeah, I've got a massive ass family. But I thought I would come on here and just have a little chat about you, give you my past experiences. And I have been through a hell of a roller coaster with families, divorces, abusive family members and toxic family members. I'm just going to jump into the first question, which is, what would you do if your mum and dad were still together and one of them cheated? Now obviously I don't know what this means really that well, but if my mum and dad were still together and one of them cheated, I would obviously be distraught, but taking it actual as a real life scenario, it has happened, but not with my dad. So my mum and her ex-partner, my ex-stepdad, were together for quite a while, and he was a very big part of my life. We done go-karting together, we done a lot, and he was like a very big part. And he was also not a very nice person, especially towards the end. He I didn't realise because I was quite young, I was around 6 when it started, and he was actually abusive to my mum, and I know she won't really mind me talking about it because I'm actually not going to go into real lots of detail. That's for another time. But he actually got caught cheating on my mum, and it wasn't me or my mum who found out. It was actually on my birthday. It was on my 13th or 14th birthday, and my best friend actually saw messages coming through on his phone, and it was cheating messages, and she actually took a picture of them and showed my mum at my birthday party. So yeah, pick a time and a place, guys, if you're ever going to expose a cheater. And yeah, so that found out, and it was absolutely heartbreaking, absolutely soul destroying. But I always feel like cheating is such a big thing in relationships and things, and it really does show you the true colours of a person. As soon as that happened, I actually cut him fully out of my life. He was in denial for ages. We obviously not kicked him out, but he left our home, he left my life, and I've only ever seen him once since. He was a massive part of me. He was a massive part of my growing up. I'm not going to sit here and say he was an awful human being, because he did take care of me a lot, but in the long run he actually separated me and my mum a lot. We argued a lot, and there wasn't a great atmosphere, and now I realise and look back and feel like he was a very narcissistic, toxic person. So yeah, cheating, parents, a lot of the time we do get dismissed and act like we're not old enough to know what we're talking about, but we do. So yeah. Next question. I've recently really struggled seeing my mum with someone new. Any advice? And I completely get you girls. Guys, I really struggled seeing my mum with her current partner at the beginning, because I feel like we get into the sense of protection. And for me, now, if someone else came into, like, if my mum and her partner split or anything, and she was actually to get another partner, I would be really quite hostile, and I probably wouldn't get on amazingly, because I'm in the situation where it's me and my mum at home. We are as happy as ever. We know each other. We get on so well. And for someone else to come in and possibly rock the boat, possibly not be someone that I got on with, possibly have other children, would not be my ideal situation. I completely understand you. The best thing that this is to do, and for advice, is to actually just talk to your mum. She is, for me, my mum is the most important person in my life, so her happiness is my happiness. And if she really got into a relationship with someone who she was really over the moon happy with, if it made her so happy, you've got to take it and look at who's the more important one in that situation. If your mum's happy, you've got to look in that. Obviously, your feelings still matter, but honestly, talk to her, because parents always tend to understand, and your mum might not really know that this is how you're feeling, so talk to her. How to explain to people the family dynamic, like if they ask where your dad is or something. I always think that your business is your business, and if you want to explain, you can explain, but if you don't, then that's absolutely up to you. If someone asks you and you don't feel comfortable explaining to them, that's your right, your own business. I always don't really like talking and asking people about where their family is and what, if they've got dad, mum, all that, because some people just don't feel comfortable. Honestly, you say what you need to say. You say what you want to say. If you want to say my dad's actually not here, him and my mum are split, and that's all you want to say, that's fine. If you want to go into more detail, that's absolutely fine. It's completely up to you. You should never feel like there's any pressure on you. So this question is actually quite hard for me, because I've never grown up anything like this, but I'm going to try my hardest to answer it. I live with my 4 other siblings, and my mum is a single mother who my dad lives about 15 minutes away. Our house is always so crazy, but since lockdown everyone has been arguing more, and I feel like there's so much constant shouting and it's hurting advice. So obviously I get this a lot in lockdown. I know that a lot of people are struggling being with their families, especially if they're not close. I think I definitely have got it good, and I never maybe look outside the box and realise that other people are actually really struggling. Something that I can definitely say is to plan your day out. So the night before, figure out what you're going to wear, figure out what you're going to do, figure out if there's anything you need to do. Take your time away. You are allowed exercise, you're allowed to go and sit on the grass over the road. Like, I don't know where you live, I don't know whether you've got a gun or anything, but just take yourself away from situations. Also, know that your mum is probably really struggling. I don't know how old you are, I don't know if you're the oldest or anything like that, but help her out, and if there's something going crazy, or if they need a bath, or if obviously I don't know how old your siblings are, if they need a bath or they need fed, help your mum out. And sometimes that can be so helpful to your parents that they will just be able to have a break. Say to her, Mum, go and have a cup of tea, like, I'll look after dinner for a bit, and that will mean so much. And sometimes that is perfect. But also, if you are really, really struggling, maybe write it down, and maybe write down to your mum, or speak to your mum and actually say, Mum, I'm actually really struggling, and whether you've got schoolwork to do, you've got a headache constantly. It is really important to know that you are important, and if your mum can do anything to help, I'm pretty sure she will. But yeah, help her out, take some time out your day and focus on yourself and focus on what you are wanting to do in that day. Okay, so this is a bit of a different one. Now, what to do when your mum, dad and sister tell you to always lose weight. I'm a size 12 and 14. So, again, a difficult one. I've always been in a situation where my mum would always tell me if I was looking a little bit big, if she thought I was unhealthy, she would say, Brooke, you need to have a little couple of days without maybe some fizzy drinks or something like that. And she would always inspire me, and she would always talk to me comfortably. My dad doesn't really talk about my weight or anything like that, so I don't have that problem. But you've got to look at it as, is it you that you're maybe constantly looking at yourself and talking about your weight in front of your parents, and that's maybe why they're saying, oh, we'll lose weight then? Or is it in the sense that they're being nasty and they're not taking your feelings in consideration? If it is, then you do need to talk to them and say, I don't like the way that you're speaking to me. Because honestly, I feel like a lot of parents think that this isn't a big thing, and I feel like a lot of adults think this isn't a big thing, but it can really, really, literally deteriorate your feelings of how you actually feel about yourself. Like, literally, it is depending. Do you feel unhealthy? What do you feel in yourself? Because no one should really make you feel like you're overweight or anything, because that's a horrible feeling. Something I've also got to recommend is follow some inspiration on Instagram. Body Positive Panda is someone to go to. She's fabulous, Megan. She always talks about families telling each other to lose weight and things, and that might give you some inspiration as well. I'm not any like massive body positive. I don't really know exactly what to say, but honestly, there's so many people online that you can definitely get advice from. How to argue less with your mum. So, I actually don't argue a lot with my mum, and I used to when it was me, my mum and her ex-partner. We used to argue a lot because it used to be a very toxic environment in the such, but honestly, arguing with your parents, I hate it. Absolutely hate it. I will do anything to not go. Sometimes you lose your frustration. Sometimes I lose my mind with my mum because she might not know what I'm talking about, or I might get frustrated with her, I might be tired, I might be anxious, I'm on the pill, I'm always hormonal. Something you can do is maybe write down every single argument you have and look at what starts it and like what is the reason. My mum has absolutely spoiled me, and I'm very, very lucky, but sometimes this actually comes as a bad thing. Sometimes if I don't get my way, and I just kind of lose it a little bit, and I admit that, and I admit that that's quite a toxic trait. But sometimes it is actually the kids as well, because I definitely find a lot of the arguments we have is sometimes me. But to argue a lot with your mum, just know how much she does for you as well. Honestly, sometimes when I'm videoing and I have like a bit of an attitude when I'm vlogging to my mum, I watch it back, I'm like, I was so nasty then. How to argue less is definitely write down and look at why you're arguing. What is the main reason? How would you cope knowing your parents had a favourite and it wasn't you? Now, I'm not sure if this is a thing, but I'm pretty damn sure it is, because I actually think my dad's favourite is Dylan, my little brother, because he's always wanted a boy and things, but it might not be, you never know. But I just think you can't do anything for yourself. You just got to be yourself. You just got to do you, boo. And if you're not your parents' favourite, that's them. That's their. Do you think you reach an age where you outgrow your mum and dad? Now, for me, I don't think I will ever outgrow my parents as such. However, if you don't know, obviously my mum and my dad are split up, and my dad lives quite far away from me. He lives about 50 minutes away from me, so I don't actually see my dad a lot. And this is all about being honest, guys. I used to stay at my dad's every Wednesday and Thursday, and ever since GCSE started, I actually didn't end up staying there, and I feel like I have sort of not outgrown my dad at all. I don't have a lot of common with my dad, and I feel like I put in a lot of damn effort and I don't get a lot of effort received back, and that's just me and that's how I feel, and nothing can change how you feel as a person. But I don't think I will ever, I think my mum will always be my best friend. We have been speaking recently about travelling once my A-levels are done and things, and I cannot imagine anyone that I would rather do this with. Me and my mum is literally my best friend, so I don't think you can ever outgrow your best friend really sometimes. But with my dad, I do feel like he'll always be my dad and I always love him, but I don't have a lot of common. We don't really talk that much, and yeah, so I think it's definitely hard. I think a lot of boys obviously get on with their dads very much, and yeah, so I don't think you ever outgrow your parents, but sometimes people put less effort in because they don't receive enough, if you get what I mean. Related to this, the struggle of going between houses when parents are divorced, I find it so annoying. Now, as I just said, I used to go to my dad's every Wednesday and Thursday. Now I choose when I want to go, because I don't have a bedroom there. I feel more like a guest a lot of the time, and that's not a feeling that you should have when you go to your parents' house. I like going there especially because I obviously like seeing my little sister and brother, and the struggle of going, I don't know, like under your circumstances, if you've got to go, but choose if you are. If you don't want to go to one of your parents' house one day, don't force yourself, because I completely understand. I used to have to pack a bag and remember everything, and it is a bloody nightmare, and I don't think parents sometimes realise how annoying it is. But also the best thing that you can do as well, can I just say, is talk about different households in different households. I never used to speak about my mum's household when I was at my dad's, and I used to speak of my dad's and my mum's, because parents really don't give a crap. Honestly, if you're really struggling, talk to a parent that you're closer with, or that you like constantly live with more, and just say that like you're really struggling. Maybe choose a day or every 2 weeks or something, or you choose when you want to go, because obviously I don't know under your circumstances and different families thing, but put yourself first. Put yourself first. This is a little extra one that I like. Do you want kids in the future? If you do, what names are you thinking? Yes, I would love a little child, but I only want them when I'm financially stable, ready, I've travelled, I've done what I want. If I have a girl, I would love to call her Harper. Dan actually hates that name, so if it was with Dan, I wouldn't be having Harper, but I will be having Harper. I love Harper and I love Lexi. If I have a boy, another names that Dan hates, Zach, or everyone hates this name, but I love it, Bear. Yeah, Bear. Like, who calls a kid Bear? But I love the blooming name. So yeah, but kids is not 100% my biggest priority, if you get what I mean. Okay, so parents are divorced. I'm closer to my mum but want to get closer to my dad. Any tips for conversation? Obviously it depends what your dad likes. Your dad, men, I feel like, are very big egotistical men, and they just want to talk about themselves and what they like. And I talk to my dad about like college and stuff, and he's not bothered. Like, men don't care. Talk about if he likes football, if he wants to go to football and you fancy going, say, oh Dad, do you want me to come with you? My dad likes Marvel, so I might chat to him about that. I ask him about him and what he's been doing recently, and also ask him like how's his friends and things, and maybe just generally just have a brief chat and like build it up as you go along. What to do if you don't like one of your parents' new partners or their children. Now this is really difficult. I find that this is one of the hardest things with new families, because honestly, if you don't like a parent or you don't like a new child, it is so straining. Firstly, question why don't you like them? Is there something that they do? Are they not nice to you? Are they horrible? Is it because you feel like you're getting invaded and your parents getting taken as a such? But you've also got to look at the thing is, sometimes you're not the most important person, and that's some tough love. Sometimes at that moment in time you aren't the most important person and your parent is, and their happiness becomes sometimes first. And for me, my mum's current partner, Stephen, that's his name. Current partner Stephen, he basically has a younger son and a young daughter, and an older son from me and then a younger daughter. And I got on quite well with them, but I didn't really do too much with them. But when Stephen came into my life, I never expected him to be a stepdad as such, because he was more, it was more him and my mum. Him and my mum get on so well. They are literally the goals couple. However, I was always worried because I was like, oh, I'm not going to like him because he's going to try and be my stepdad. And I don't want another stepdad. Like, my last one was not the one that I wanted. However, he didn't. And I think you've always got to give them a chance. And always understand why they're there and if they're making your parents happy, then that matters. My dad is someone who gives false promises any way to deal with this. Well, I've got a few things to say about this. Firstly, let him know. Let him know that you know that he's breaking these promises. If it comes around and he says, oh, on Tuesday I'll take you out for dinner, and you say, cool, 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 and it comes Tuesday and then he breaks it, let him damn know that he is the one that keeps on bailing and is really in the wrong, actually. Let him know that you're getting upset about it. And also, you get to a point where you start putting in effort, you stop trying, and sometimes this will end up being the thing that happens, and sometimes you kind of just got to stop accepting the promises and start just accepting that it's not going to happen. And it's really upsetting to say, and it actually breaks my heart saying this, because it's not fair. And if they didn't want to have a kid, and if they didn't want to have a child to look after and take out and be a dad or mum to, then they shouldn't have bloody had us. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of parents need to look at themselves and think, I need to put more effort into my child. But yeah, so we've got a little thing here. My dad lives in Ireland with my stepmum and 2 sisters and brother. I live here with my mum and my brother, and I go to Ireland to see him every 4 to 5 months, but due to coronavirus I'm not able to travel. Don't know when the next time I'll see him. I haven't seen them since New Year's Eve now, but I haven't even heard from my dad, just my stepmum. She's rung me a couple of times, so I don't feel like my dad was making enough effort for me. Okay, so I don't understand this. Parents sometimes literally forget about their children. Like, sometimes I feel like my dad forgets about me sometimes because I'm not living there and things. But the best thing I could actually say is to probably write him or text him a message and say, Dad, when is the next time you're free by yourself to have a chat? Not with the children, not with the stepmom, just you. So we can have a daughter and dad chat. And if he answers, and then you might be able to actually have a proper conversation, because people are stupid and people sometimes don't realise that they're not doing what someone wants them to do. So generally just message him and say, Dad, I really want to have a chat. Will you chat me when you're free next? By yourself. Obviously about not seeing him, that is not under anyone's, that was obviously under not your control. You can't get upset about the whole idea of blaming yourself or anything. You can get upset obviously, and you can be a bit like gutted, because it is sad and it's upsetting not being able to see your family members, of course, but you've got to understand there's nothing you can do about it, and think of the reunion after. My dad was caught having an affair, but I still want to see him, but I don't want to upset my mum. She hates my dad and would rather me cut him out. Now this is really, really difficult, because obviously your mum is probably going through so much heartache and so much pain, and so are you probably. But also, if you still want a relationship with your dad, then that's your right. You are putting yourself in a position where just know that you might also soon lose so much respect for him. I lost so much respect for my stepdad when I found out that he had cheated on my mum. I literally cut him off. Like, I have no socials, anything with him. But if you do want to see him again, that is your right. You need to sit down with your mum and explain to her that you don't want her to be in the situation where she feels upset or betrayed, because she probably feels very betrayed with your dad at the minute anyway. So just be like, Mum, I would like to see him just every month, once a month or something. Can still have that communication, but still know that he did do something wrong, because it's still unfair. Once you've seen him, and maybe get a third party involved, your aunt, your grandma, so that there's no toxic vibe there, and there's not any like hostile environment, so there's someone there to control the situation between you and your mum. Obviously your mum probably wants the best for you as well, but if you do see your dad, don't be coming back to your mum and being like, oh my god, dad done this, dad's got this, blah blah blah, because your mum is probably like, your mum probably wants to be selfish and just say, I don't want you seeing him because look what he's done to me. But obviously kids need their parents, and that's completely all right. I hope everything gets sorted though, and send my love to your mum as well. Okay, advice on being open with your parents without fearing judgment. Now, I will not really talk to my dad a lot about, I've never talked to him about like sex or anything like that, because I don't really feel that comfortable talking about it. Whereas my mum, I probably would, probably because I spend a lot more time with her. But the only reason you're going to be judged is if you let it happen. Ask yourself why you feel like you're going to be judged. What is it that you're asking? What is it that you're talking about? And your parents should never have the reason to judge you. They should always be supportive and things. And if they do, then maybe look at other sources, maybe look at other people to chat to. And obviously it's so upsetting when I see parents not being able to speak to their children, and the children not feeling like they can speak to their mum and dad and things. But honestly, you never know unless you try. If you always want to DM me, I'm always open for a chat as well. Yeah, so I also just wanted to say, like, because I didn't really get any questions about other like family members, I was really close with my gran, and she is still my literal best friend. She's my, well, me and my mum and my gran are like, we're going to be in Mexico right now, which makes me really emotional, and she actually moved to Scotland, so I really don't see her a lot. And moving away and people moving out of your lives is so difficult, and it's heartbreaking a lot of the time. So yeah, I just wanted to say that as well. Like, I've had such a weird family dynamic. I've got obviously Step's family, and like literally I've just been through a blimmin' lot when I look at it back. But I feel like families are so difficult, and I'm always feeling like I'm always feeling like a little bit like the add-on as well. I feel like, oh, do you want to come here? You're invited here. Like, I do feel like that a lot with, especially with my dad's side. But sometimes you've just got to do you, boo. And yeah, it is such a hard question. But if any of you have still got any questions or dilemmas that you want me to chat more about, go into more detail, please let me know. I'm always open for a little chat on DMs and things. And yeah, I probably will be doing a new video maybe on my stepdad being a narcissist, because I feel like there's a lot to talk about, and I might even get my mum on as well, and also my current mum's partner being in prison. Did I say that he was there? Did I say? He's currently in prison at the minute because of, I feel like they're just wrong time, wrong place, wrong people. But yeah, Jesus, I've got it, haven't I? Thank you for watching Boujee Brunchin with Brooke. This was a bit more of a deep one. I feel like we need a little light-hearted one next time. Let me know what topic you'd like to see next time. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please give it a massive thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you next for the next episode of Boujee Brunchin with Brooke. Stay safe out there, guys. Bye.